Hey everybody, Victor here. Now that I'm finally done with my finals, it is time to bring you guys a nation guide for Pegu. And of course, since this is one of my guides, the first thing we're going to be talking about is of course the estates and privileges. Now for the most part, this is a stock standard opening situation. So whatever you normally would grant as your privileges, you're going to be going ahead and doing that now. It's not going to penalize you in any way. The one thing I will point out though is you do want to grant this tropical city planning. This is a very powerful privilege to grant. The reason why is in every tropical province, you will get 5% reduction in dev cost, as well as 10% more settlers. This is important because in all the tropical provinces, you get plus 10% dev cost. So it won't net it to zero, but it does definitely help, and it will save you monarch points, especially since you'll be deving in pretty much every single institution in the game. And now as far as settlers are concerned, whenever you go to colonize a tropical province like over here, you will automatically get minus 10 settlers. So that 10% early on will not make up that difference, but later when you have more tech underneath you and you have more settlers from your ideas, it definitely helps make up that difference and then exceed it, making you better at colonizing the tropics than the Europeans ever would be. So that is a very strong privilege for that reason, and if you actually look at the climate map mode, you can see everything in light green, that's tropical. So everything over here in Indonesia, you'll be able to grab. Everything in the Philippines is open for you to grab. And then all the things in here that you'll be conquering for your own provinces to dev up, that's also going to be tropical. So it's going to be very beneficial for you to grab that privilege. Now, beyond that, you will always be at just below 5%. So whether you seize land, then grant privileges, or grant privileges, then seize land, it doesn't matter, so do whatever you want. And then if you get a mission to dev something up, the provinces you're looking for are either Pegu or Martaban. The reason why Martaban, even though it is a jungle province that you're looking to dev that up, is you do actually have a mission here where you have to dev it to 20. Now you can move your capital over and then consolidate land from things you conquer to make that hit 20 that way, or you can just slowly dev push it. It's up to you. I personally recommend consolidating land, but if you do have a mission where you have to dev it there, go for it. Because once you're done with this mission and you get to the next one, you'll start getting claims down on Sumatra down here, and then eventually all of the Malaya region. So all of this. You'll be able to grab all of it very, very easily. And if you want to do one of your achievements where you have to get 50 provinces not of Mon culture, going through this area is definitely worthwhile, though it won't get you to 50. With that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the military. Setting up your military is pretty simplistic and straightforward. You're just going to hire 2 infantry, and you're going to take your navy, and you're going to consolidate them and mothball them. If you actually need your navy, you can unmothball them and then have them move around. But until that actually happens, it doesn't really matter. So go ahead and just mothball them for now, and with that, you should be good on the military. Let's move on to diplomacy. At the start of the game, you are stuck between 2 larger powers that want your land. The first being Bengal, who kinda wants your land, usually, unless they rival you, in which case they're really gonna want your land, and Ayutthaya, who almost always really wants your land. The good news, however, is that you do have Lanzhang over here, who will royal marry you at the start. So what you're gonna need to do is royal marry them immediately. Don't let a single day tick without royal marrying them, because then you're tying up a slot and they're going to be willing to ally you. This will keep Ayutthaya off your back. Next, you're going to be improving relations with both Bengal up here as well as Ayutthaya. Yes, they want your land, but you can actually get their opinion of you increased enough and then insult somebody where they will like you enough to royal marry you, and then they will stop wanting your land. And at that point, they should ally you, meaning you should be fine. Now, once the diplomat comes back, ally Lanzhang, and then you'll start spying on Arakan to get a claim on them. You need to attack Arakan hopefully before they get any larger allies. Usually they'll ally either Prom, which is rare, or Tuangu, which is pretty common. But they can also ally people like Orissa. I've even seen them ally Batmanis. Why? I don't know, but they have done it. So if they ally either of them, you might want to restart, or you can try and take your chances and hope Bengal won't let them through after you've allied them. However, either way, you're going to be waiting until they stop being hostile, which is about 50 a positive opinion of you. That way they'll royal marry you, and then you can ally with them. The same is true with Ayutthaya, but again, get Lanzhang because that will at least keep Ayutthaya from threatening you for your land or just straight out declaring on you. But with that, you should be fine there. As far as any other allies up here, you really don't need them. And you're just simply waiting to see who Arakan here ends up allying with. It looks like they decided to ally with Prum, which is, again, perfectly fine for me. Do not rival anybody, because if you rival Arakan, who then some reason allies with Ayutthaya, you will not be able to ally with Ayutthaya. So just hold off until you're able to actually get the allies you need, and that way you can prevent yourself from making a mistake having to restart, because I've done that at least 6 times in my 50 starts of this to make certain I was right about the starting diplomacy. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pause it because I need to wait for my alliances to be set up, and then my spy network to be down, and to see how all of this shakes out. So I will be back in just a few minutes. And welcome back, everybody. So I had just unpaused the game and realized, wait a minute, I forgot to assign merchants, and then I realized I forgot to talk about it. So the only 2 nodes you can reach other than your home node are Bengal and Siam, so you're sending your merchants there. However, once you get them there, in Bengal, set him to hostile trading. This will let you get your claim down on Arakan faster, and then switch him to established communities, so the improving relations with Bengal goes faster. The one that you're sending down to Siam, that one you're going to be setting to established communities, so you get that improved relations with Ayutthaya faster. Now, the reason why you're trying to rush it with Ayutthaya is because until you have them as non-hostile, not wanting your province anymore, they can still threaten you with a war, where you'll have to give up the province or be attacked, or just flat out declare on you. So the faster you can get them happy and get this to about positive 25, so you could insult one of their rivals, in this case it would be Khmer, to make them like you enough to stop being hostile, they're hostile, and keep that in mind. Hopefully Lanzhang here will be strong enough to dissuade them from attacking you, but it doesn't always work. With that being said, I'll see you guys in just a little bit. And welcome back. So as you can see, Ayutthaya is now royal married with me. After a couple of months, about September, they decided they didn't want my land anymore because I improved relations enough, as well as they decided they would rather take Khmer's land first. So fortunately, they dropped with that, so I'm able to royal marry them, and I'm almost allied with them. Bengal here, I'm close to getting them to stop being hostile. Once that happens, I can royal marry and then ally pretty easily. Before you attack Arakan, make certain you at least get Bengal as an ally. The reason why is because if you take land that's bordering Bengal, they will absolutely not like that, and it will drop their opinion even further. So just be patient, hold back, get them as an ally, and you should be fine. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording again. I'll see you guys in just a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. So at this point, it is now time to attack Arakan, because I have Bengal happy enough with me to not really be worried about it. Now, before I do anything, I'm going to take a loan out, and then I hire the free company. The reason why is, well, with 10,000 men, I should be able to take out this 4,000 and then have to fight this 7,000 pretty much on even footing. This is jungle, and he'll just sit in that area because he'll get a defensive bonus. So hire the free company so you can massively outnumber him, as well as send in the free company a day early, so that way they take all the casualties and you mop them up. Then once their army is gone, go ahead and delete the free company. Yes, you are probably going to be taking on quite a few loans doing this, but you'll get about 100 ducats out of these guys, piecing them out, which will pay off most of the loans, if not all of them, by the time you're done. With that said, time to go ahead and let this guy be spawned, get a couple of ticks of morale in, and then declare. So I'm going to go ahead and fight this and see you guys when I'm done. See you soon. And welcome back, everybody. As you can see, the war is over and I annexed both of them. Now during that time, get claims down, or get spy network down on Tuangu, and then start working on Ava once you can actually reach them, because they're going to be your next target. You can attack Tuangu if Ava actually has some strong allies. They don't actually have them here. But basically, when you full take out Ava, you then have access to all of these guys over here. Unfortunately, when you full take them out, you'll get all of their tributaries, which is slightly annoying, but they will be sending you some money, so can't be too bad. If you need to, take out Tuango instead, because Ava will come in to defend their tributary. And then what you're trying to do is get to Mung Pai. take out all of these guys, but Mong Pai right here is pretty important. I'll explain why once I get to that point, but you're aiming for this province right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get to that point, and I will bring you guys back when I'm actually capable of talking about what's going on with Mong Pai. See you guys then. And welcome back, everybody. So while I'm not quite ready to take on Mong Pai over here to take their provinces from them and actually start moving towards that goal, I am ready to take on Ava. And I wanted to bring you guys back to explain that you're getting Ayutthaya and Longzhang, Bengal, and possibly even Dai Viet as allies, so you can get enough favors with them because they'll all be willing to come and help you punch Ava into the ground. They can get allies with people like Ayutthaya. If that is the case, attack Tanggu or Prom, depending on who's still around, or even Mong Pai if you've already taken out Tuangu with them allying Arakan over here. But in any case, just try and snipe them out and take them out. Now I'm going to go ahead and start this, but as you can see, it's really not going to go in Ava's direction. Now, as far as Bengal, yeah, I wasn't able to get them because once I took Arakan's land, they decided they really wanted mine again. Not just the provinces I took, but other provinces on top of that. So unfortunately, I didn't get them, and I was able to maintain Longzhang because, for whatever reason, they didn't rival Ayutthaya. If you only have Ayutthaya, you should still be fine, because just Ayutthaya is strong enough to punch Ava, and you really wouldn't have to do anything. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and just let them fight my war for me and let them give me everything I want out of that. But I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording because I need to wait for this to be done, and then I can take it further from there. I will see you guys in just a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. As you can see, Ava no longer exists. And on top of that, I got all of their tributary subjects, all of these guys, so they will be slowly paying me money for the next couple of years. Unfortunately, that means that if I'm going to expand into any of them, I'm going to have to break that tributary status, which does give them a 5-year truce with me, which means I need to pick who I'm going to target first so I can cancel that tributary status, as that way the truce timer can start. Now, the rest of them, you want to maintain that tributary so they'll keep paying you money, because of course you do. And as you can see, I do have one other person here, and that is Mong Mao, who I made a straight vassal, because I vassalized them by force in the war. If you have this opportunity to either force vassalize them, or if you actually border them by taking these provinces here, to actually take the land yourself, you want to do that. The reason why is by doing either of those, you will suddenly border Ming. And you need to border Ming to become their tributary. And this is really important. You see, you need to get, for one of your achievements, 50 provinces that is not of the Mon culture, the starting culture that you have in all of your starting provinces down here. However, one of the easier ways to do that is to push through Southeast Asia. The problem is all of those guys down there, they're all tributaries. So you can't attack any of them unless you become one. So if Longzhang decides to now break their alliance with me, and they suddenly become an easy target for me and Ayutthaya to jump onto, I can't do it until I become a tributary of Ming. By going after Mong Mao this way, I will be able to in about 10 years. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to clean up some more things, but I did want to talk about right here, Mong Pai, because I mentioned that I wanted to get that province as quickly as possible, and now I get to explain why. I could have earlier, but now's a good time if any. You see, again, you do have an achievement to get 50 provinces that are not Mon cultured. Right here, this is all Mon, which means you have to have 50 of other provinces. Now, you can culture convert those Mon provinces. That will count. The question is, what do you convert them into? Because there's a couple of different cultures here. You have the Burmese, you have the Arkanese, you have Shan, you have Chin, but there is actually one culture in the Mong Pai actual province. So it's not here, it's nowhere else on the map that exists. And that culture is, of course, the Karens. I am not kidding. If you want to go for this achievement, you might as well go for it in style and go for it in the full meme way you possibly can and help spreading the culture of the Karen across Southeast Asia by demanding to speak to everyone's manager until you get strong enough to take on that manager, which of course is Ming. And that is what you're basically doing in this guide. You're getting strong enough so that when Ming decides to start exploding, you can start taking advantage and punching that manager that you so want to as a Karen. Now, if you are going to go that route, and you're going to be spreading this culture and actually culture converting a lot of things, I do recommend you get religious ideas, because that'll reduce the cost of doing so by 25%, and then influence ideas, because the capstone of the religious ideas and the influence, the policy, sorry, that'll drop it by another 20%, meaning you have a 45% reduction in culture conversion cost, as well as time. So it happens a lot faster. And since you have to dev institutions, this can get really expensive. But with all of that being said, it is now time to start getting ready to take on these other targets so that I can start pushing forward and getting other provinces. Now I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording. I'll see you guys in just a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. As you can see, I have consolidated the Burmese area here, going so far north as Assam and Sadia, and then I even pushed west into Bengal. Now, depending on your game, Bengal might be the big menace, or they might be an easy target. In this game, they eventually rivaled me, so I grabbed Jaunpur and Orissa as allies, and then with these two, as well as Ayutthaya and Lanjang, I took on them and their allies of Delhi, Malwa, and Batmanis, and still won. So it's up to you on whether or not it's worthwhile going for this, but if you can take over this entire state, you'll end up getting more claims on the rest of Bengal, which is very nice to have. Now at this point, however, as you can see, I've integrated my vassal, which means I am now a tributary to Ming. The reason why this is very important and you're doing this early is that even though you're going to be increasing the amount of tributary payments you make to Ming, it has one key benefit. First off, you can attack Lanjang, as I pointed out before, expanding into Southeast Asia, but there's also a guy up here that is a really, really stupidly easy target. On top of that, you can also go for you over here, because they will have cores that you can get for them from Sang. So just pick your targets between here, but this guy usually doesn't have anybody strong. In this case, they ended up allying you, and then they have Gouge over here. So I can take them out, take over all of their provinces, and then you and all these provinces over here, and at that point, I'd probably have the achievement. I already have 37 provinces, and give me a second while I count these. There are 14 provinces in total between Com, U, and the U cores that you're going to get out of Sang, not even including the rest of Sang. Meaning at this point, you have that achievement done. Now, if you're going for the Sailor Mon achievement, you're going to have a whole lot more coastal provinces than this. The nice thing is that eventually, Ming will start to collapse. And you're going to take advantage of that by, when they are going through their rebel problems, once you see that you outnumber them, you're going to attack. You're going to attack even if they have higher mandate, just to make certain that they can't actually destroy all of their rebels, because they will continue to embrace those mandate powers even when at war, even when they have rebels firing. The AI is incredibly stupid. So just wait for that to start happening. And then you, of course, can push through Southeast Asia, because you'll eventually be strong enough to just ignore Lanjang, and eventually Ayutthaya and them will go after each other, and you can just start picking them apart. Now, I'm going to go ahead and load up one of my test run saves, because it is about 100 years or more from this point, just to show you what I'm talking about. So I will see you guys in just a second. And welcome back, everybody. So this was my first test run as Pegu for this guide, and since I needed the Sailor Mon achievement, I figured during that time, I'll come in and get the achievement while I'm getting the guide done. Then I realized I was taking way too long getting this guide done, which was going to delay my schedule getting videos out, and I don't want to do that to you guys. So I figured I'll go ahead, get this video posted, explain what my strategy is and how it would work, and then you guys can replicate it, and I'll just get this done when I have some free time. Though I will say the Karens are absolutely spreading throughout the world, because they need to be. Now, as you can see, I'm about 1/10 of the way there for my Sailor Mon achievement, which requires you to get 100,000 sailors as Pegu. Now, this is not exactly problematic, I guess is the easiest way to say it, because as you can see, I don't exactly have many coastline. I didn't go into Indonesia, I didn't push through Southeast Asia, I didn't take India, I just took a little bit of China so far. Now, if you can get into India, I highly recommend you do so. Just in this game, Bengal had strong allies, so I couldn't attack them. And then once I started to outnumber them that way, they then took quantity and quality ideas, and so did their allies. Meaning, yeah, it wasn't going to happen anytime soon until I had some allies that'll help me take them out. Timurids is now an ally, but I haven't gotten to that point in this game. As far as Southeast Asia is concerned, Ayutthaya is the target you'll be going for to get sailors down, other than Dai Viet and Champa down here. Unfortunately, they're a good ally option to help take out Ming. So until about the mid-game, you want to be keeping Ayutthaya as an ally. Just because they'll help you fight, even into India, so you'll be wanting to keep them around for a while, and they may also spread down into Indonesia for you, so when you go to take them out and you stab them in the back, you might be able to get onto Indonesia as well. I did not go colonial in this game at all, so unfortunately the Europeans are here, and they're starting to take over a lot of these islands, which would give me a lot of sailors. So if you're going for that achievement, I would highly recommend, instead of focusing so much on the Karens, to get exploration and expansion ideas so you can lock down this area to get your sailor count up, and that should make it a lot easier. However, that being said, you really shouldn't need anything beyond China here. Because if you look, all of this terrain here, it's all farmland. Now, Ming, though they are my subject, will eventually have to be incorporated for me to do this, but as long as I can dev push these coastlines up enough, and then build tall using the dry dock here to double the sailor amount, I should be perfectly fine. The only real concern I would have is embracing all of the cultures, because by not embracing them, you have 20% less sailors. Which is why you might want to expand the Karens around before you start dev pushing it. Lastly, if you do absolutely need to, you can get sailors out of maritime ideas, which I know it's like the one time you'd actually grab this idea, but that 50% might be enough to bump you over the 100,000, and then you get the achievement. But after that, you should be pretty good to go. The only other achievement there is for Pegu that you can get is kind of generic for Buddhist countries, and that is simply getting a colony down in Central America, which, again, didn't go colonial, so it's not happening this time. But you should be fine getting that done if you went colonial. But with that, you guys should have a whole lot of fun with Pegu. Whether that's spreading the Karens, spreading the Pegus, getting a lot of sailors, doesn't really matter. This is an incredibly fun game to have, because you're starting off as somebody that is absolutely between a rock and a hard place, and becoming the guy that's smashing everybody around you. But with that, hope you guys have tons of fun with this. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I will absolutely be making more of it. I am now, since I'm out of finals and I'm between classes, making a ton of videos. So if you want to see something, now is the time to tell me. For those of you who have already told me, tell me again, because I might be putting things in different priority order depending on when they come in and how many people ask for it. So ask for it now. With all that being said, thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day.